that we found very easy to relate to because they were things that we were building up from what we had done in secondary school. So engineer Dr. Afolabi is going to be teaching you about stress and strains. That is things relating to this, building up on these topics. While Dr. Yelade is going to be building up on those resultants of forces and other related topics in these areas. Now, the newest part of the course, if I would describe it as that, is when you come to Dr. Ojoko's part in that time. I'm not sure whether or not he'll be taking you guys in the course again because it's rumored that he will be retiring. So we're not sure. But whoever takes you, it promises to be a very interesting part because you begin to hear things like you hear about things like bendy moments. I know that when you guys were in year one, you got introduced to this topic, moments and bendy moments. Now, when you hear about moments of a force, they are it's a very easy topic to understand because it's basically clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation. You can visualize it. You can use things like your ruler, your phone, maybe on an edge or something to visualize what you are seeing. Because you hear about things like cantilever support, fixed support, movable support, and things like that. And so it's easy for you to visualize this part, and it makes the part of that course very easy to understand. So my advice for CEG 211 comes down to this: don't wait till the end. Begin from day one to tackle this course because this course is one that if you find yourself waiting to the end, you will not understand it because it's not a course that you can rush. It's something that involves a lot of calculation and procedures. And so if you allow your time from the beginning to handle this course, then you'd find that you begin to discover methods as to how you can make solving questions in these areas faster and simpler for you. I remember when I solved my first question on, let's take bending moment, for example. It used to take me an hour and a half or more to solve those questions. But in the exam, you'd never have such time. In fact, we were given a test, and we're given 40 minutes to solve our bending moment question. A good majority of us did not finish solving a question, but one of those on the call, I did not finish. But one of those on the call here finished, and in fact, he did so well that the lecturer requested to see him because he was surprised at how well he did compared to the rest of the class. And so, this was just because he had been practicing, practice that we hadn't put in. But we were fortunate to have the strike period in between the semester, so I was able to put more time to this and eventually figure out the course, figure out this part of the course. So bending moment, try to do a bending moment question every day because you'd find that if you solve one question, you'd get your speed then. But the more you solve, you'd see tricks, things that you can do in your head that will make it faster for you. And if your lecturer gives you a method to solving the question, yes, you might find another method that is correct to do it. If they see it in exam, they'll mark it correctly for you. But it's best to follow your lecturer's methods because sometimes, especially when you're dealing with a lecturer like Dr. Ojukwu, there are lots marks to things like diagrams, steps, and procedures. So Dr. Ojukwu would give a mark for certain lines. If you have that line in your solution, he will give you 1 mark for it. Your answer could be correct, your procedure is correct, but you'd end up having 20 over 30 in the question as compared to someone else who followed his method and got 30 over 30 in the question. Why? Because certain lines that he expected to be there were not there. So basically, give yourself time to practice CEG 211. It's one of the easiest courses that you would take in this 200 level, and so give yourself enough time to handle it. Do not focus on frivolities. Do not focus on courses that you know are theoretical that you can get the hang of when it's getting towards exam. The time to begin to tackle your procedural courses is now. Then when we are getting close to exam, you can now begin to follow along in your theoretical courses or to catch up in your theoretical courses rather, so that you have a hang of everything. You're not learning new things by a day to exam or spending one night trying to learn everything about Morse circle, bending moment, or a resultant or forces. So those are just the little tips I have to give you. And then don't make a mistake of going to pick past questions from 5, 10 years ago to be solving as per, oh, I want to know the way of the lecturer. Lecturers have changed, and the way lecturers set questions too have changed. So you need to read past questions of 2, 3 years ago, so that you'd see, oh, this is how lecturers set questions now, and so that you'd be able to be sure that you are reading on the right track, while you don't focus too much on past questions, because they can be deceitful. You might miss your way focusing only on past questions. Pay attention to your lecturers, pay attention to the tips they'll give you. Then, when it comes to answering questions in the exam, this is a little tip that I have for those of you that are here. Engineer Folabi's part, write for him, write stories, give him stories. He wants them. When Dr. Afolabi sees stories in his exam, he becomes more lenient with his marking, because you have shown to him that you really know what you are doing. So you may not get all the answers correctly, but he may find himself a question that has 2 parts, 10 marks. He might find himself giving you 7 for the first part, and then you'd only lose 3 marks, even though you did not answer the second part correctly. It happened to me. I was pretty sure that this question I wouldn't get it correctly, so I had to write in detail for him in another question that he had set, such that I was able to get some good marks out of it. So just try to give Dr. Afolabi as much as you know. Anything you know regarding what he's asked you, write it down. Even if you feel it might be relevant, it is relevant to him. It proves to him that you actually studied his course, and he will appreciate you for that. Then, before I leave CEG 211, I should also talk about labs. Labs, any course that has lab in the course of your civil engineering, consider it an A course. Consider it an easy A course, because labs are weighted similar to your tests. They have the same grading as your tests, but you get to do it at your own comfort in your own houses. So dedicate that time to writing your lab report. Don't give them shabby lab reports. The moment you give them shabby lab reports, they will not appreciate it. They would mark you down. And try to write, I'm not saying write irrelevant things in the lab reports, but give them something voluminous. Show them that you really understood what you were writing in the lab, or what you were doing in the lab. Show to them that, oh, you asked me to write about bending moments, the deflection in this stuff. This is how deflection is calculated. This is how deflection is gotten. So from what you said here and what I've read from the textbooks, I've combined this together. Put it down for them. And then when you have your procedures, when you're writing your procedures, take note of this. Never write in present tense or future tense. Don't write, when we will do this, or we do this. No. They want you to write in past tense, because it's things that you did. Even though you didn't do it alone, write in singular form and as though you did it before. So, for example, I picked up this phone. When I picked up the phone, I unlocked it. Next thing, I went to camera. I did this, I did that. Past tense is very important in lab reports, because you are reporting. You are not giving procedures. You are not giving steps for someone else to do. You are writing a report of things that you did. Then make sure that your calculations are noted down. Your calculations are very methodical, they are correct, and they're in line. You'd probably get some help to write your lab reports from your seniors. I think we kept some of our lab reports. So eventually your course rep would be given access to these things, or you could contact those of your seniors that you know and try to get these things from them, because they would serve as kind of like a guide to helping you get the course. Imagine a situation whereby you already have 25 or 27 marks down in your lab, and you have another 15 or 18 marks in your tests. You'd find that exam is going to be very easy, because you've gotten over 40 already. You're basically looking for 30 marks out of 50 in the exam to get your A. That is why you would easily see people getting things like 80, 90 in some of the courses that we have labs, because they've already done the work for themselves before they even enter the exam hall. So the exam seems to be a breeze to them. So I hope I've covered as much as I can in this aspect of CD211. And so when we get to meet you and when we get to speak to you physically, we'd also share to you the little midgets or things that we picked up from our seniors and from our own personal experiences that we'd love you to know about CD211. Whew. I seem to have spent a lot of time talking about this course because it's really the most interesting of all the courses that we have in our year one, in our year two. And so I'm going to breeze through SVY 211 engineering surveying now. This one, easy A. Exam was objective. We had labs in the course. We didn't do a test. He just gave yes, attendance. Signing attendance. This man will try to make it seem like it is very important to him because it is in a way. But the way he does his test is that he will just step into the hall, look around. Oh, is the class scanty? Yes, it is. Take a test. He will give a test. That's his test for the whole semester. And he's never going back to it. He will not go back to it. So try to attend Surveyor Oluwayemi's classes. Try to attend his classes. They are very important. The questions that he will give you in the test, maybe one question. He may not even ask you a question. He may just tell you to write down your name. And that's it for his tests. So make sure you are in his classes. Usually you'd find that his classes would always be in the morning, 8 to 10. 8 to 10. He likes 8 to 10. Even if that's not what is on the timetable, he would somehow get your course reps to rearrange it because that's when he's available. So wake up early and get to Sobi Oluwayemi's class. You do not want to be the person who he will use as a scapegoat, who would be begging him that, oh, sir, I'm sorry, there was traffic, there was this, there was that. No way. Sobi Oluwayemi comes from outside school and he will tell you that if he could make it, you could make it too, because many of you will be staying in or around campus. And for those of you that will be staying a bit away from campus, well, try to make sure you get to his class early because those are how he gives his tests. For the lab work, follow the procedures that the lab technician would give you in this course. Make sure your lab report is very detailed. I think they might allow you to type it out. They did for us. So make it detailed, make it rich. And then when you're doing your drawings on AutoCAD, make sure that they are neat. Look for someone in your group that has a good knowledge of AutoCAD, or if none of you has, ask for help. Ask for help to do your AutoCAD and make sure that it is very presentable because if you can get a good mark in her, I remember a few of us had 27, 25, 24. We had really good grades in our lab for this course. And so when it came to the exam, which was very simple again, once again, the calculations that he gave us, OBJ, very simple OBJ, both the first and second semester, you would find that most of the people would be getting A's in the course. So just pay attention to what he's giving you. There are certain calculations, there are certain tables or charts that he will give you as assignments. Anyone that he gives you as assignments or he gives you as an example in the class that he takes time to talk about those calculations, take note of them because 100% they are coming out in exam. 100%, and they are usually very easy. Though complicated to learn at first, once you learn them, they are very easy. We were fortunate in our time to have a surveying master in our class, a student who spent his time to devoted his time to learning the different tricks of surveying. So he taught all of us, and we all found our exams as a breeze. In fact, many people finished their exams early, but just lingered in the exam hall because they could. So this course, another easy A. Unfortunately for you, this one and CG211 3-unit courses, you can put yourself on a good foundation with this. And even if you might be thinking that, oh, I didn't do so well in my year two, in my year one, your grades have not escaped you. You have a long way to go. I've seen people recover from their year one, and you can too. 5 years is a lot. 5 years is a lot. And so the journey is still long ahead of you. If you think that if you can get a 5.0 this semester, you would see how much motivated you will be for the rest of it. So put in the work now. Don't allow yourself to get distracted. Put in that work to get ahead. GSTs, I don't need to tell you anything about them. You guys have done GSTs before. You know that it's just an objective exam that you just need to get 14 to pass. So thank you very much for giving me attention for these courses. And I think I'd be handing the mic back to Morayo for him to continue from where I left off.
All right, thank you so much, Tommy. That was informative. And straight away, we are to have a question and answer session. So if you have questions to ask, can you please drop them in the comments section? So I'll read them out and try to answer them.
Um, I think I see Elisha Korolo raising his hand. Is that? Do you have a question? I've seen your hand raised for a while now. Okay, no, he's dropped his hand. Samuel Ulubi in the chat has his hand raised. Is that just a wave, or do you have a question?
Oh no, sir. It's just a wave, actually.
All
Just a
right,
wave.
all right, all right. So I'm not seeing any questions coming through. So I think I can hand off now to back to Mariah.
All right, next on the list is Oni. Oni is going to be talking about CG213, MEG212, and SSG215. So Oni, very quickly, we don't have much time. Please run through them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mario. Good evening, everyone. As I said, I'm Oni, civil engineering method year. I'll be talking about MEG. I'll start with MEG 221. That's your engineering drawing. It's a 3 unit course here. So for this course, those that did technical drawing in secondary school, it would help you a lot. But then if you didn't do, you find a way. You find a way. So this course is not hard. The P about this course is time is never enough. So you have to be very, very fast. I mean very, very fast. So you do things like polygon, you do tangency. The man loves tangency a lot. You do tangency, you do parabola, cycloid, epicycloid, stuff like that. Stuff that you did in technical drawing. So for this course, you need the right materials. Very, very right. The man specifies the pencils to use. You need a very good TD board because your TD board and your T square need to align perfectly to draw your horizontal lines. You don't have time to be using your ruler. You need your TD board. You need a very good pencil. You need a very good rotary set, your compass. So the pencil is, I think, is from from a lighter version to a very thick one. You find in the general market. Please don't use any pencil because it will fail you. Because your lines need to be very thin. Then when you're detailing, use a very thick line. So follow the man. The pencil tells you to use. Just follow him. Then, as I said, enough practice. You need to practice a lot. You dedicate. There won't be time. I won't lie to you, but you need to dedicate time to practice, even if it's once or twice a week. Practice a lot because you can't do magic for this course. Once you don't know it, you don't know it. You fail it. Do you understand? So find a way to practice. And the man gives a lot of assignments, so you have to balance it to your other courses. Don't just because of this one neglect the other subjects. You have to balance it. And a little trick that will help you. This for only normal class. So during classes, it gives you like some mini quizzes. So before class, you could draw your borderline and title block. So it will help you, like just speeding up, like give you like head start. Yeah. Then what else? I've said it practice. Then yeah, practice that. So then I'll move to SSG. That's engineering computing. Basically, I don't know what language will teach you guys, but for our set we did Python. I didn't know anything about programming before, but it's the course. So YouTube will be your friend. Depending on the language they're teaching you, YouTube will be your friend. You could search up crash course on YouTube. Like I used for Python, I used Angela U. Those that are familiar with coding will know I use Angela U for Python, and that course really helped me. Plus, I use ChatGPT for things I don't understand. Plus, I use YouTube also. So, go to class, read the man slides, read the man slide, practice, then try to code on your own at least. Try to code at least 30 minutes daily before exam. Even if you don't like coding, just try because coding is you can't cram code, you need to understand. You need to know what this do, you need to know what this function do. So you have to practice, practice, practice. Then without a laptop, you fail this course. Sorry to say. So if you don't have a laptop, get a laptop. You can't obviously use your phone to code. Get a laptop, or if you don't want to get a laptop, you can. I won't advise you to borrow. Just get a laptop so you can practice at your leisure time. Yeah, that's all I have to say about SSG. Then CG theory is a 1 unit course. This one is walkover. The man just comes to class, gives you slides. It's a very simple course, just like social studies. Tell you about engineering, transport, things about engineering, about civil engineering, bridges and stuff. So the man will give you some practice questions before exam. So do those questions. Make sure you do those questions because for our set, and I'm sure for previous sets, those questions will give you a practice question. Like that way your exam question is coming from, but we'll just pick for me. So just practice the question very well, and that course is walkover, simple A. I think that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. Okay, do you have questions?
Some of them do not want to.
Okay, I do. Okay, I do. Sorry, just trying to find my way to the mic. All right. For the SSG course, Introduction to Computing,
Okay.
is there anything like a CA test or where you carry laptop in some instance and to the hall and do?
No, I doubt we did it. Did you do a C test already? I doubt we did. But we will give you along the line though, it will give you some practice questions where um you zip your code, then send it to your course rep, they'll deliver to you. And heads up for exam, you get need to buy flash drive because after coding, you copy your code to your flash and submit to him. Buy a new flash drive, don't use the old one because once it's corrupted and they can't read your code, that's gone. Do you get? So yeah, that's it for it. Isaac, everything your hand. Do you have any question?
Yes, I have a question, please.
Okay.
Okay, so when you were for SH15, you were saying something about Angela. Please can you
Yeah.
spell please can you spell it very well? Probably I didn't hear very well or something.
A
I won't.
N G for goat, ELA, then YU.
Oh, God bless you. I'm done. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Akos is paid though, but you could use YouTube too, depending on the language you guys are doing. Because she had a very
Oh,
detailed course for Python, so that really helped me,
oh,
and I'm still writing Python too now. Funny enough, so just
all right,
search up. You can search up on YouTube. YouTube is your best friend. Anything you're looking for is on YouTube.
all right. Thank you very much.
And
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Oluwatomi, everything your hand. Do you have any question?
Oh no, 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 no. I don't have any question. I just have a bit of an addition to that SSG.
Okay, yeah.
We didn't have any tests, but the assignment that he sends to you, you don't know which one he would choose. So make sure that you don't miss any. Because, for example, in our own case, he gave us many assignments. He gave us like 6 assignments, but he chose one assignment, and that assignment was 50% of the course. And so, anybody that missed that assignment basically lost those 50 marks. So make sure that you do every assignment, and I'm emphasizing it again, every assignment that he gives to you, they are very important.
Yeah, I want to add something for MEG. Along the line when you're practicing, you know your strong foot. So for exam, it will give you some practice question prior for exam. So just know the one you're very good at, then tackle it first in exam because there won't be time. It's never enough. So that's really advice I have for you guys concerning MEG. That's what I'm going to add. So I think that's all. Thank you very much.
All right, I think that's all for the questions and answers. Um, okay, so do we still have questions, please? Before we move to the last speaker, which is Korede. Okay, well, I assume we don't have questions. So Korede, over to you. All right, is Korede present? Is to anchor OGGs and MEG212. All right. So, okay, can see someone's hand up. Okay, do you have any questions to ask? All right, since he's not around, okay, we have two GEGs, GEG219 and GEG217. Just to be clear, Tommy and Oni, for GEG219, who taught you guys GEG219? I want to know if it's the same lecturer. Tommy,
CG219. What that was? I think this man that has left, what's his name? That's ODE now.
yes?
Okay. Atojunere.
Yeah, I think Jerry. He left already, I
There are
guess.
two. There are two. There's Atojinere and there's, is it
It was
Adeleye?
no. It wasn't Adeleye. Okay, no. Balogun taught us 217, so it was Olumide.
What about 219?
219,
Yeah.
219 was Olumide. 217 was this guy. Yeah, Balogun.
All right. Can you guys speak on that? Because I'm not very good on that.
Good evening, Mo. Can
All
you hear
right.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, guys. Sorry, I was having network issues. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry for the delay. So like Mo said, my name is Korede Oshode.
I'm so sorry about that. It's having a breaking transmission. So, just very quickly, I don't want to waste your time. We have GG217 and okay, is it on? Okay, we have GG217. GG217 is complex analysis, and one book I think is going to help everyone. Uh, we have HK gas, and we have this Schwarm's outline series, so complex variables. And there was one textbook I used in my own time for complex analysis, which had all the details in this particular course. This is complex analysis by Eberhard Freitag, a German guy. So in that textbook, it's on Google. You find it on Google Preview. Please mute your mic. You have series of questions that have solved examples that you can deal with them. So practice a lot of questions in complex variables in Schwarm's outline. They repeat them a lot. And I think this is going to be CBT for you guys. So you have to know how to practice all of those Cauchy-Riemann theory, all those residue theorems and all of that. So complex analysis for Schwarm's outline series is very, very important. And you can use HK dash too. And if you do not understand those limits and continuity of complex variables, try to refer to YouTube videos. They will help you greatly. And is Corey still available, please? Because Alliance network is terrible. All right, so Tom, Corey, take over, please.
Good evening, guys. Please, can anyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. Thank you. I'm so sorry about my network issues. So to continue from where Mo stopped, GG217 is Engineering Calculus 3. You guys are going to be, you guys are going to go back to your limits, continuity, and differentiability. You guys are going to be working on limits of complex variables. You're going to be talking about continuity of complex variables. Now, for this course, there's actually one old note by a Dr. Ogunwolu. It's the name of the note is complex analysis. It's just a note where he wrote down some terms and he solved some questions. And I think this is what you're going to do first. He's going to teach you stuff like e-neighborhood, deleted neighborhood, boundary points, closed sets. All those things are in the note, and I think they are in the. I think the PDF is in the drive. Is everyone with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes, now we're following.
Then for this course, there are two textbooks that I would recommend actually. There is HK Das and there is Shom's Complex Variables by Shom's. For HK Das, the chapter you're going to use is chapter 7. That's where you're going to see all stuff like harmonic functions and harmonic conjugates. Here you're going to be using your total differentiation from partial differentiation to find out like harmonic conjugates of functions and everything. There's also another method called the Milne-Thompson method, which I think your lecturer should take in class as well to find harmonic conjugates. Also, there is also going to be a method from GG219, which I'm going to talk about. It's called exact differential equations. You're going to need it to be able to solve questions like this. Also, for this course, you're going to be doing stuff like curl, Laplacian, and gradients. These should I say these formulas are actually not in HKDAS, but they are in Shom's. And I think our lecturer, I think his name is Engineer Olumide. He took this stuff. You're going to find the formulas in Shom's. Now for this course, is everyone with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm just making sure in case I'm just talking and my network goes off. I'm so sorry. For this course, this is actually where we stopped. We actually stopped there. We just did limits, continuity, differentiability. We did this harmonic conjugates, the Milne-Thompson method, then the curl, grad, Laplacian, and everything. The Laplacian, you're actually going to use it to find out if a function is harmonic, by the way, if I forgot to add that. Now, I'm not really sure the lecturer that is going to take the course for you, but just to be safe, I'm going to talk about the residue theorem. We didn't do it though, but it's actually part of your course outline and it's very, very important. For residue theorem, first, before the residue theorem, you're going to learn zeros of analytic functions. You're going to learn types of singularities. Here, you're actually going to need your power series, Maclaurin series, Taylor series. You're going to need it because there are some functions that you would need to expand it in powers of x to be able to find the residue. You are also going to learn about the Lorentz series. Now, the Lorentz series it's similar to the Maclaurin series. The only difference is that here you are now going to be able to expand in negative powers. It's also very crucial for the residue theorem. Is everyone with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, you guys are going to learn about, or you should learn about Cauchy integral theorem, which is also for solving complex integrals. Like I said, I'm not sure if your lecturer is going to reach here because we didn't do it, but it is very, very important. So like I said, HK chapter 7, then Shom's. The exam, I can't really predict if it's going to be OBJ or theory. I can't. But if it's OBJ, you guys know how it is now, LMS and everything. So you guys know how you walk around that. As usual, you can't go back and all of that stuff. So that will be it for GG217. I'm going to move now to MEG 212, which is fundamentals of thermodynamics. Is everyone still with me?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, thank you. For MEG 212, please, if you have any questions, please, you can just like write them down or maybe put them in the chat box. For fundamentals of thermodynamics, the lecturer that took this course, Dr. Gunaya, she took it for us, and she's actually like really chill. You just have to attend her class, please, because she takes attendance. She takes attendance. Um, for this course, you're going to need like your like knowledge from physics and chemistry, like like just little knowledge from each of these courses, each of those subjects. The test for this course is 1 hour 15 minutes, and it's going to be 2 questions. The test is very very important, guys. Please take this test very very seriously. And then the exam is going to be 6, and I think you'll be required to answer 4. For this course, if you're a textbook guy, I think Rajput is the textbook to go. I think Dr. Gmanaya also uses this textbook from time to time, and the main chapters are basically chapter 3, 4, and 5. Is everyone with me so far?
yes, sir.
Okay. The main chapters are
Yeah.
chapter 3, 4, and 5. So, chapter 3 talks about pure substances. Um, it's mostly theory, though. You guys are going to read it. You're going to have to read. You're going to have to understand. But there's also calculation involved. I think this is where you would first come across something called steam tables and the Molia charts. So the steam tables, Molia charts, you guys are going to learn how to use that. I would explain that stuff. I'll explain it along the way. You guys are going to talk about triple points, critical points. You guys are going to learn about the behavior of steam. You're going to talk about latent heat, entropy of steam, internal energy. You guys will just have to read it. Quite straightforward, really, for chapter 3. Now, chapter 4 is the first law of thermodynamics, and this is most likely where the lecturer is going to start from. Chapter 4, first law of thermodynamics. Is everyone with me so far?
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you guys are going to talk about the first law of thermodynamics. You guys are going to learn about processes, states, paths. You're going to learn about different types of processes at constant volume, constant pressure, constant temperature. Then also for the first law, because it's a law, there are also corollaries, like different ways to say the laws. And I think you guys are going to be taught in class. I'm bringing it up because corollaries are not really explicitly stated in Rajput, but it could be a question. State the corollaries of the first law of thermodynamics. So you guys should also keep that in mind. Also, here you're going to talk about specific gas constants, CV, specific gas constants that's at constant pressure and constant volume. Then also you guys are going to talk about steady flow as well, where you see machines like turbines, compressors, nozzles, and each of these let's say each of these systems rather, they have like specific conditions for each of them. There is a general steady flow energy equation, right? But for each of these open systems, that let me call it open systems, for each of them, you are they have like specific conditions for each of them. So this, yeah, you don't really have to know them because really they will be obvious in the question, but it's not, it won't be bad for you to like to check it out. Then after that, you guys are now going to go to vapor and steam in first law. Now here, I think this is where most of us like had issues in for in this course, because here you're going to heavily rely on your Steam tables. You're going to heavily rely on your Steam tables and your Molia chats. Um, the only thing I can tell you concerning this is that you just have to solve the examples. For this part, how I learned it, you just have to solve the examples. If the examples are not really doing it for you, and I think YouTube is the best place for you to go, but the examples are pretty okay. And then it also wouldn't hurt to solve some of the questions like at the end of the chapter, even if it's only the Steam ones you're going to solve. Please try and solve those questions. Now, before I move on, I would like to say that if you want to read for this course, I think you should start with chapter 4, first law. Learn all the processes, learn the steady flow. Once you get to vapor and steam, where you see the steam calculations, I think you should pause there, then read chapter 3. After reading chapter 3, that vapor place will make more sense. It will make more sense. You'll be able to like get it. You will understand when say okay from steam tables at a particular pressure, at a particular temperature, like everything will make sense. Is everyone with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's it for chapter 4. Then chapter 5 talks about second law. In our time, we didn't really go deep into this, but you guys are going to be talking about heat engines and pumps. You're going to be learning about efficiency and coefficient of performance. Here too, I'll give you the same advice for Steam. Please try and solve as many examples as you can, because the explanation in textbook, if you're using the textbook, is not really straightforward, really. But by the time you get to solve the examples, you will see, oh, this is why they did this is why they did that. You guys are also going to learn about the Carnot cycle or Carnot theorem, and this would also like clarify things in solving questions. This is where you see stuff like reversible heat engine and other stuff like that. Um, what else? Okay, yeah, the second law is also going to like solve or explain some deficiencies from the first law. I'm also saying this because it's also like a likely question that could come out. And then lastly, or sorry, second to the last, you guys are going to learn about the Kelvin Planck and Closure statements. These are actually the statements for the second law. And it's I think you guys get to learn that violation of one of these statements is the violation of the other. It is also very important that you know the proof of this. It was an exam question in my sets. And then lastly, you guys are going to do entropy. Dr. Ogmunaya she just proved some of the formulas for for this. For entropy, just like it is in first law, there are going to be like different processes and they're going to be different formulas. Constant volume process has its own entropy formula. Constant pressure process has its own entropy formula. So if you can learn the formulas, and the proof isn't really that hard, but I don't think anybody's going to ask you to prove it, or but just know the formulas. And then there's also a general entropy
You can
formula
ask
as
me to
well.
prove or
Anyone works for you. If you can note that general entropy formula, it might take you more time to solve some questions, but you would still arrive at the same answer, basically. So that is it. So I will still stress on this Steam part. Please solve as many questions as you can. Learn how to use your Steam tables. You guys are going to be seeing questions where you have to use the normal Steam tables, the superheated Steam tables. So I'm going to pause here for any questions. If anyone has any questions before I move to GG219. Uh,
Right. Okay, sorry. Sorry, before you speak, I want to just add something. To avoid stories that touch the heart, please learn how to prove, please. Which other question do you have? Any question, please? Nobody. All right. So, Lawal, please, who is going to handle this next?
So I have a
I think
question.
all the speakers.
Sorry,
All
Mo.
right.
I still have 219, or has 219 been done already?
219. Oh, okay. Speak on 219
Yeah.
and we'll call it a day.
Okay. Sorry guys. I'll make this brief. I'm so sorry for taking your time. G219 ordinary differential equations. There are also textbooks. I would also recommend HKDAS chapter 3, and I would also recommend Stroud. Then for this course, you guys are going to be integrating like a lot. So I think before you start this course, please, you have to like strengthen your integration because you're going to need it a lot. A lot. Please integrate, go back to your 1 to 8, integrate as much as you can, learn all these formulas by hand because you're going to need them here. For ODEs, there are first order differential equations and second order differential equations. For first order, you're going to talk about linear, you're going to talk about homogeneous. Also for this course, I can't really predict the lecturer as well, but it's mostly the same thing that you're going to bring up. Um, then you guys are, like I said, I mentioned in 217 that there is a skill here, which is exact differential equations, which you're going to be using to solve for the harmonic conjugates. For exact differential equations, there are like 5 types. The rules are pretty straightforward. You can check them out. You can learn them. They are pretty straightforward. You can. Then there are also equations reducible to exact differential equations. You might not really need that. Then after that, for first order, there are applications. Now, for these applications, I think the textbook to use is Shom's differential equations. Most of our exam questions on applications were picked from the examples in that textbook. So, please try as much as possible to go through the examples for applications of first order differential equations. I would only recommend Shom's. They kind of like separated like different instances for mixing problems, for temperature problems. Then before I leave first order, there is also something called the Roskian that you guys are going to start with. Roskian just helps you guys to check if some functions are linearly dependent or independent. For second order differential equations, you're going to be seeing terms like particular integral and complementary function. To solve second order, there are 2 types of second order differential equations. There are the ones with constant coefficients and the ones without constant coefficients. For the constant coefficients, it's to solve those ones are pretty straightforward. But the main problem here is finding the particular integral, and there are also different methods for it. Now, the method that is going to be taught in class is the method of variation of parameters. So you guys should also keep this like keep if you can write that down because the method of variation of parameters is very important. I think the lecturer proved it during our time. Then there is also the method of undetermined coefficients. I'm not sure if you guys are going to use that. And then finally, there is the D operator. Please, is everyone with me, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this part is really important. The D operator is also another method of finding the particular integral. And if your tests are going to be OBJ, you are going to really, really need this method because you guys know how the OBJ tests goes now. No time, you guys can't go back and everything. So it would not really make sense if you're using the method of undetermined coefficients to solve for the particular integral for some of these questions. The operator is really, really straightforward. I promise you. Most guys in our set didn't learn this method until after the tests. So please, it's also in HK that's the D operator very important to learn this method to solve for the particular integral. Then for non-constant coefficients, you guys are going to be seeing Cauchy-Euler and um Legendre, but I don't think you guys are going to do Legendre, just Cauchy-Euler, the Cauchy-Euler method. There are two methods to solve this as well, but please just go with the one that the lecturer uses in class. Then finally and most importantly, you guys are going to be doing what they call Picard's iteration method. Picard's is another way of numerically solving differential equations. If you're a YouTube guy, I think you should use YouTube for this, because I don't think if you're a YouTube guy, use YouTube for this. But if you are a textbook guy, then you could use HKDAS chapter 15. But I would highly recommend using YouTube for this topic, because it's really, really straightforward there. I think that's about it for 219. So to summarize, please learn your integration, the textbooks, HKDAS, Stroud, and Shonks. I think that will be all from me. So if there are any more questions, please let me know. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Korede. That was informative. Please, do you have questions to ask? After this Q&A session, our president will have to round off and everybody will go to their houses. So do you have any questions, please? Very quickly.
You read one,
All right.
Akonde. Akonde, you have the floor.
So read one. You go first.
Okay, my question was on the MEG, the technical drawing course. So no, okay, no. My question has been cleared. My question is on the Temu. Yes, Temu. So I had some roommates in year two when I was in year one, and they always complained, or they always had like fright for that course. I don't know why. So I just want to ask the moderator, like, what could have been the cause of scare? Like anytime they are talking about their courses, Temu was always the cause of like fear. So I don't know. That's what I was trying to ask.
All right, read one. I will answer that. The reason you are going to have issues with thermodynamics to start with is when you start with a complex textbook like Rajput. I don't know why people do that. So there's a textbook on the internet. I dropped the name of that textbook in the comment section. Thermal Engineering by J. Selmin Raja Durai. You don't have to buy the textbook. It's available as a Google preview. If you're less busy, you guys should screenshot all the pages from chapter 1 to chapter 6. They have the basics that you will get to learn about thermodynamics. You will understand those concepts. So by the time you go through the chapters 1 to 6 in thermodynamics, engineering, and you go through their solved examples, Rajput will be so easy for you. But if you want to start thermo with a textbook like Rajput or Onkasign, I'm so sorry for you. And I hope I've answered your question. It's a very simple course, just have to understand the basics. Thank you. So next person, we start. I think Isaac raised his hands up. Can you go, Isaac?
Yeah, I don't have much to say. On this phone, yeah, like the last
Sorry, Isaac,
call,
you're not clear. Please speak out loud.
okay, the last person you spoke on is the one. Am I taking out?
Are you using
I can
earpiece?
you type your question? You
Yes,
can
yes, yes, yes.
hear you.
Okay, hold on, hold on.
We can't hear you. Or drop your question in the comment section. We can't hear anything.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so it's talked about under constant coefficient under GG129. Yeah, so he talked about if you want to do objective, like if you're in probably if you are doing objective. So he talked about DD something, DD coefficient or something. So I don't know what he said very well. So I'm trying to jot it down. So I can't really hear what he's saying. Can he spell it out, please?
Please, can you attend to him very quickly? He said he has a question to ask in DD
Yeah, under
operator. I don't know what that is.
coefficient.
Yeah, three guys. Please answer him.
Um, can you hear me?
What do you say?
Can everyone can you hear me, Isaac?
Yes.
Okay, so it's called the D operator.
Okay.
D operator. To solve for particular integrals, if at all you would need it, really. But yeah, if you have time to learn it, please do. It might save you a lot of time. Have I answered the question?
All right, thank you so much. So I'll involve our president to round up the whole session. Over to you, Steven.
Evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Evening, sir. Yes, we can.
Okay, I believe I joined with two devices. I just wanted to leave with from the other one. So yes, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. It's good to be here. Thank you, Morayo, for that wonderful session. Um, I expected more numbers, right? Being that it's year two, I'm just hoping the reason giving up on school is not part of the reason why we have a low turn up. Mariah, you want to say something? Okay. So yes, I'm just hoping giving up on school is not one of the reasons. I've been listening to what the speakers have been saying, the scholars who were invited here, and honestly, I'm actually impressed. You guys have done so much justice into the upcoming semester, right? Um, I think Oluwatomi really gave um, a complex uh, overview of how you guys should charge into the semester, right? Personally, for me, this was my best semester in University of Lagos, and if there's anything you think is tough about this semester, it's not really that tough, right? For the one person who spoke of MEG is not all that difficult unless you find it difficult dabbling courses which has both theory and calculations, right? So that's what MEG is like. Um, Okwe, do you have a question? I think your hand is raised. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Very good.
Okay,
I just
so
remembered
yes,
something. Okay, sorry. I just remembered something. Someone said something about CG lab reports, and they said the lab reports is equivalent to the test course. So it got me thinking. What's the score for the exam? Like, what's the exam score over? And I'm still confused as to how many courses require lab reports. So I don't know if someone can answer that question. Very sorry for pulling you back.
Oh, not at
okay. For courses that require lab reports, if I'm right, for your first semester year two, that should be, I think, just one. I think that should be one, which is mechanics of materials. Am I right, Morayo? Or Tommy? Okay, two. Which is
Yeah.
the second?
I think they are both
Let's do
next. Structural analysis is the next after mixed materials. So
Yeah, which is not the same semester. So for first semester, I believe it's just mechanics of material that you need a lab report for. So you are going to be gradually indoctrinated into the lab report fiasco. It will be in year 3 that you have a lot of lab reports to kind of write. For first semester, year 2, you just have one. Then you have so many assignments, like your speaker said, for the MEG technical drawing. There's so many assignments. Then I believe for if it's I don't know if she's a doctor now, if she's the one taking you, Dr. Bonaya, she gives assignments towards the exams, so it counts as part of your test. In terms of your lab report being your test, I doubt. So for mechanics of material, you have your lab separate. You have your test, which you are going to write, which I believe in our set it was objectives and theory. So lab report is usually not is not together with test. If your lecturer wants to mark you, if there's a lab for that course, he probably give you a test separate, or you add your test to your exams, but they don't make lab reports tests. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, all right. I think so.
Sure, you're welcome. You can also meet the scholars here maybe after this. Maybe they could explain better since they just took such courses. Yeah, thank you for that question. But so I was hoping the attendance will be more than this. Like I said, I'm hoping that you guys haven't given up on school. That's why you didn't come for this orientation. But trust me, you've just done 2 semesters. Then for those that direct entry students, you haven't even done anything. If you guys know, the person that finished with 5.0 started as a direct entry student, and he is going to be the best graduating. I believe a number of you must have heard of him now from civil engineering. So anything is possible. First class, where you are now, you can still make first class. It's just 2 semesters. So trust me, give it your best. And I believe no matter how poor your result is, you can still actually make first class. I think I don't know how to calculate it now, but trust me that I'm sure of those people that might be on 3 points and above, that you can still push enough to make first class. So yeah, just go and do your maths and trust me that it's possible. So on behalf of the student body of civil and environmental engineering student society, I would like to appreciate the speakers here present. For instance, someone like Oni really shocked me that he's a scholar. I had to ask today and confirm because I know he's kind of a very social person, and that's good if you have such people that can really manage time, right? There are people that you can reach out to understand how you can manage your time. So Oni, kudos. So I would appreciate you. I'm appreciating you guys here present, the speakers. We wish you all the best of luck and successes in your present and future endeavors. Thank you. So if you guys noticed, we as the new executives, we've tried to start implementing our projects quite early. For those of you who were part of the software training, you must have benefited from the AutoCAD and ProtaStructure training, which for me, I might even advise that for year 2 students, taking AutoCAD is a better gamble than taking ProtaStructure because it's easier for you to understand ProtaStructure if you're taking AutoCAD. But to my surprise, I believe there's someone in this class who took ProtaStructure, usually reached out to me to ask questions when he faces challenges on ProtaStructure, and that is amazing. If some of you here already know how to use ProtaStructure and AutoCAD, trust me that application to companies for internship will be so almost straightforward for you because they see that you have value that you are bringing to the table. So aside that project which we've done, we are hoping that we would I believe you guys attended the last CES annual conference and design competition. This time around it's going to be bigger and better than you guys had last time, right? We are thinking of incorporating more things into that event. So be on the lookout. We also have the HOD games. I believe you guys didn't have one last session, but I know you guys are warming up to have one this session. So for point of encouragement, I think for my set, we won our first HOD games in 200 level. So you guys can actually do it. Yeah. So we'll also be having a SES League, field trips, more webinars, right, relative to what we've been having in the past, more social events, exam prep tutorials. The SES newsletter is going to be better this time around. Yeah, so basically, this is just to mention a few of what we hope to accomplish this session. So in this light, we'll actually be needing your support to get all these things done. Aside supporting in terms of payment of your dues, which I believe by now your course rep have told you, the dues for Civil Engineering Student Society is 3,000 per stay light. So, besides that, we'll also be needing you guys to also volunteer your time, which I believe a couple of you here are already volunteers for SES. I know Okwe is one of them. I really cannot see everybody on this call currently, but I know a couple of you are already volunteering for SES. So thank you so much for that. So whenever SES reaches out to you, please do respond positively, but always put your books first, Sha. So yeah, once again, I would like to thank the speakers for being here and the moderator for a great job. Do have a wonderful night rest. And I'm not sure I introduced myself for those who don't know me. I am Stephen Kyoche. I'm opportuned to serve as the president of Civil Engineering Student Society. Thank you, guys. Moraya, over to you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for making this possible. So, our presidents, who just try to be humble now, thank you for attending. And we hope that you guys can have a good journey throughout your session here. And if you have any problem, don't hesitate to reach out to the president. Don't hesitate to reach out to people who can help you. I wish you guys all the best moving forward and have a nice day. Thank you so much.